what's going on? I hope this video finds you guys well and in good spirits. So, this video will be my Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 8, Episode 3 review. But I do want to talk about a few other things first. So, the first thing I want to say is thank you for your subscription. I am now at 175 subscribers, which is wonderful to me. You know, a slow ascend is better than none. And for the most part, I am a subscriber more than a content creator. I just more or less decided to start my own channel to give my verbal opinion on things that I see out here on social media in these YouTube streets. Um, I don't have a background in blogging or journalism or anything like that. So I really don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, I mean, slow and steady is good for me. So anyway, I want to thank you guys again. And so the next thing that I wanted to talk about was, and this just came to me like not too long ago. But I'm on YouTube, and shout out to In Her Alchemist. I saw this on her page. This post that Martell posted on Facebook, and I'm wondering when he posted this. But as I'm reading this, it brought me back to a particular scene on Love and Marriage Huntsville. So I'm gonna just read the post real quick, and then I will let you guys hear what came to mind for me. So the post says, Advice Tuesday. Men, make it known to your wife and or girlfriend that she can be too late on treating you like the king you are. Ladies, don't wait until he messes up before you start checking off his requests. The damage has already been done. Sometimes a woman will get so used to a guy, to a good man, until she stops appreciating his every move and stops seeing his value. I'm talking to the good man that takes care of home, great provider, spouse motivator, hands on dad, disciplinarian. And like, I'm like, so when I got to disciplinarian, I'm like, this man wants to put his hands on his kids so bad. Like, damn, he kills me. So, anyway, clean the house, cook when necessary, don't drink, don't smoke, love spending and making time to do everything in the world with your significant other and your children. Motivate the family to go to church, the head of your home. Bring flowers of appreciation in the house. Make sure you're not living average. Allow her to live where she wants and drive what she wants. I know it has been about women empowerment lately. Men keep pushing for greatness and allow no hoe to slow you down. And I just put that in there myself because there was like a sign, a symbol over there. So I'm just figuring that's what it said. But anyway, what I take from this is that, first of all, he didn't mention anything about being faithful at all. And if I'm correct, before he can claim that, he was this stand up husband, he had always cheated in his marriage. And but let me tell y'all what this made me think about. Remember on one of the episodes on Love and Marriage Huntsville when Nell and Chris was talking to Melody and Martell on the porch, and Martell was like, well, this other person, she satisfies me and blah blah blah. And Melody got upset and threw that glass on towards him. So I specifically remember watching that episode, and at the time we didn't even know who Coleslaw was. We never seen her. This was pretty early in the season, but I just imagined from him having the balls to say something like that to Melody, that this other woman had to have, been on Melody's level in some type of way. I just never would have imagined that the person that he was throwing up in Melody's face is the person that we know of today. Like, you couldn't have told me that his side piece was Coleslaw. And I kind of get why Melody got upset enough to throw something at him, knowing who he was comparing her to. I just, I don't know why I thought about that specifically, but I just was like, yeah, I never would have thought that his side piece would be who she turned out to be. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get into this latest episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. So anything that I say is alleged in my opinion. So the episode starts off with Mel and Nell playing what looks like to me to be tennis, but I guess it's called pickleball or something. And so, they're playing, and it looks like Nell is giving Mel a run for her money. So when they stop, right, I'm sitting here laughing now at how Mel is just so dramatic and silly, damn near drowning Nell with the water and wiping her off with that thick towel. She is so silly. But anyway, so Melody asked Nell why she didn't show up to the podcast. And so Nell gave her reasons for why she didn't show up. And I noticed that Melody had asked a few people during this episode why they didn't show up. But I can really understand her possibly feeling some type of way about Nell not showing up, being as though they have a better rapport than everyone else on the cast. So then after that, Nell asked Melody about Martell's arrest for the DV. So Melody gives Nell the full rundown. So then Nell supposedly understands and says that she see why Mel did what she did. And so like the preview of the show made it seem like Nell was still going to give Mel some pushback even after she explained what happened, which if she would have done that, I would have probably felt some type of way about that. You can't excuse, like I said before, black, green, yellow, purple, red. It doesn't matter. When you violate and you commit a crime, you are, entitled to whatever the consequences are. So then Nell brings up the interview with her stepdaughter, which I didn't watch. I didn't watch it. So when it comes to the Fletchers, like I liked seeing them in previous seasons on episodes, popping up on episodes here and there. But now that they're a part of the actual cast, I'm not so interested. And I'm not quite sure why, but that's just what it is for me. So when Lexi did the interview, I didn't see the interview. I just, heard from other content creators their viewpoints on some of the things that she had said. So Nell was saying that what Lexi was saying was a bunch of lies. And so, and it probably was some lies mixed with truth though, but I don't know. So Mel mentions that Kimmy and Tisha didn't show up to her podcast either, which to me, I don't know why she would be surprised, and I don't even know why she would care. Like at this point in the game, even though, they're attempting to be cordial for the sake of the show or what have you, too many things have transpired for me to, care either way, whether they showed up or not. You know what I'm saying? They can say all their kumbayas and kiss and make up, all they want. But the truth of the matter is that Kimmy and Tisha doesn't really like Melody. And just my opinion, I think that has to do with a lot of jealousy. So the next scene is with Stormy and the new girl Trisha. And I believe they were showing up at a coffee shop or something. I don't know. I didn't catch it. So y'all, I don't really, care for Stormy and some of her ways. But I have to admit though, she really do look good in this scene. I really love her hair and her makeup. So, her and Trisha arrive and um, hug and, say their hellos and everything. So I think I caught that Stormy may have been Trisha's hairdresser. That's how they. Trish informs Stormy that she ran into Tisha and Destiny at the gym, and that Tisha said that she wanted to work out and to have Trish, text her. So Trish asked Stormy what was the falling out about between her and Tisha I guess before she decided that she wanted to train her or not. So Stormy gives her the rundown of what happened, and I'm surprised, that well, not really surprised, but I'm glad to see that Stormy didn't really like trash Tisha. She said that what Tisha wasn't really the problem, that it was Marcel, so to speak. So this scene was actually very boring to me. What I think is that when it comes to Trish and this being like her first appearance on, reality TV, that she might have been a little bit nervous. Um, but she did give a little bit about her first marriage and, all of what she went through in that. And then about her current situation and how she feels as though the guy that she's seeing now is, more of her speed. They're both gym rats, and he's more or less like the calm to her storm, which is always good. But yeah, I wasn't really into this scene all like that. So the next scene is with Stormy and Courtney out car shopping. And this is another scene that just was, kind of boring to me. They're car shopping, and then the conversation then turns to them discussing having another baby and getting a surrogate. And it looks like, they may make that happen, in which, if that's the case, I'm happy for them. I kind of like Courtney. He seems like a level headed, cool dude. So then the next scene is Ken and Trish. And y'all, Ken is diesel as shit, ain't he? That nigga is cocky. Like, I like muscles, but there is a such thing for me as too big. And I think Ken would be probably a little too diesel for me. So anyway, Ken and Trish give a semi formal introduction for themselves. And again, I find it interesting that they are both into going to the gym. Trish starts talking about, Tisha wanting her to be her trainer and how she has some reservations because she doesn't want to get caught up in drama, which I get. And then, Ken basically told her, like, just don't get into the back and forth, carrying bones and all that type of stuff, which I think is good advice. So then Trisha says that she doesn't really know the guys and that she sees Marcel or Martel at the gym. But hold up, though. Isn't it going to be revealed that she and Martel, in fact, does know each other? So, I'm just like, my left eye is starting to jump now. Like, girl, you already started out lying. Goddamn. So then the next scene is with Mel, Kimmy, and Tisha. They meet up at a plant shop. They are all looking really nice. And then, so Tisha brings up Martel's arrest and pretty much asks why it took so long for Melody to file a report. So once again, Melody gives them the breakdown, and now they seem to understand why she did what she did as well. So at first, when Melody had to go on this explaining tour, I'm like, why would she have to explain? But if you're only hearing it from one side and a person like Martel is trying to deduce the situation down to, oh, it was just a text message, being as though, those are his friends and they're going to tend to side with him first anyway, then yeah, I can see why she would have to give them the real, because they're not going to get the real from Martel. So then she again asks them why they didn't show up to the podcast. Tisha didn't have the same energy she had with Destiny when explaining why, she wasn't or didn't come because of the millimeters. She made this excuse that, well, she didn't receive an invitation. Now, I'm not going to hold you. I kind of understand Tisha on that because of the situation that happened where Mel had her thrown out of an event that she wasn't invited to. So I definitely get why Tisha's like, I'm not going to set myself up again for you to be able to do that to me. You know what I mean? Like, I need an invitation. I need a formal invitation before I show up to anything that you have. But at the same time, this wasn't even Melody's event. It was Carlos and it was public. But, she should have told Melody that she didn't like the millimeters, just like ultimately Kimmy did. She came up with the whole invite thing. But Kimmy kept it real and was like, the people that flock to you don't like me, basically. So that's why I didn't come. So then Mel asked Tisha why hasn't she reached out to her, that she thought that they were, on better terms, yada, yada, yada. And then Tisha said, that she just don't know when to reach out. And again, I'm not really mad at that because, like, when you have a beef with somebody and you guys are not on good terms for a while, and Tisha and Melody, they haven't been on good terms for a little bit, like seasons. So for now, for them to have sit downs and talks and come to a consensus that they're going to try to get along better, it can still feel awkward, trying to get back on track. You know what I mean? Like it takes a while, because during times of separation and not dealing, people change. So I get where Tisha's coming from with that. I'm not even mad. I really like what they're doing with the plants. You know, taking smaller plants and designing, their own bigger flower pot, so to speak. I really like that. Like, I wonder if there's something like that around where I stay at. Oh my God! So let me backtrack a little bit. So first of all, if I felt like this scene with these three was like a genuine equal energy setting, I would love this scene. But because I know what I know, it's coming off, just, I don't know, generic. But Kimmy with her self importance is just irking me a little bit. um, Talking about the millimeters would have had negative energy. To the energy would have been negative towards them, and no, it wouldn't. I think that's not really what Kimmy thinks, because I don't see anyone coming up to Kimmy or Tisha or anyone from the cast for that matter, and like just coming off on them. What it is she just wouldn't be celebrated. They're not her fans. So I think that's more of what her problem is, more than it just being that Melody's fans don't like her. Melody explains to Tisha and Kimmy that the energy, that any negative energy at the podcast was towards Sunny, given the situation between how she and Moses hooked up, that it didn't have anything to do with, like the millimeters were just being negative. So then Tisha says something about a girl code. Melody laughs. And then they're like, well, why are you laughing? She never slept with your man. And Melody's like, I don't know what she did. Blah, blah, blah. And the episode just pretty much ended on that note. There were, as far as the ratings for this episode, for me, between 1 and 10, I would give it probably a 6. There were some parts that grabbed my attention and I was entertained, but for the most part, this episode was pretty boring. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. But so yeah, that's my recap or review for this episode. I just really wish that Melody wouldn't have certain expectations of these people, given the history. Um, if they don't show up, they don't show up. I wouldn't even question it. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So yeah, that's it for me. So drop down in the comments, let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys in a few days for the next episode. You guys take care and be well. Thank you.